Welcome to Corinne's Picks. I'm your host, Corinne Basabe. Today we're delighted to have a brilliant pastor, author, producer, entrepreneur, an all-American, all-around, just genius, Jason Hendrickson.
Hey.
Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
You know, I'm just amazed at, I can't even list all the things that you do. I don't think I've met somebody, I don't think anybody on the show have worn as many hats as you wear. Mm-hmm. Tell me a little bit about who you are and how you're walking through the world.
Well, my name is Jason Hendrickson. I'm born in Brooklyn, New York. Just a young man that has a lot of energy and creativity. I've been that way since I was a little boy. And I just don't have fear of trying. I believe failures are not failures. I believe failures are lessons. And anything that I get myself involved with, I always ask myself, what's my takeaway? What is the lesson that is attached to this for me? If I can apply it to further or discontinue. It's always a lesson attached to it. So I'm just a creative young man that loves music, that loves people. I love making people laugh. I love making people think. Because the older I get, the more analytical I'm becoming. When I was younger, I was always emotional. But I feel myself shifting, and now I consider myself to be a critical thinker. And that is the thing that I like to push others to become, because if you think it, you can be it.
You know, I'm amazed by, your ability to produce. You talk about your music. Mm-hmm. I know that you're producing apparel, you're even baking, you're baking pies. You're producing other artists, mm-hmm. and you've written several books. Mm-hmm. And the reason I'm even talking about you today is because I heard your music, and, mm-hmm. and this show was primarily about your music. Mm-hmm. But the theme of everything you're doing has to come from some source. Mm-hmm. What is that source?
God. Absolutely, God. The name of my company is All Things, and that's what you will see me doing, a little bit of all things. Because I think that for all of us have been given a certain measure of creativity and a certain measure of faith attached to that. And it is your responsibility, once you are aware of that, to utilize it. I think the graveyard, I know the graveyard is the wealthiest place on the planet. Because you have a bunch of people that have died with regrets, saying, I wish I could have, I wish I should have. That won't be me. When I go to the grave, I'm going to go empty. And I'm going to leave a legacy of challenges behind for my children, my grandchildren coming behind me, and my peers to look at it and say, that's the measure that I want to live up to, because he tried a little bit of everything. And some stuff worked. Some stuff didn't. I was just sharing with one of my young people, I opened a coffee shop and it completely flopped, and it was my brother, Lawrence, who showed me that it wasn't a great idea, because he interviewed me on Facebook Live, and he was asking me questions. I had no idea about the business. I didn't research it properly. I didn't prepare, and it just flopped. But that gave me the understanding of whatever you do, you got to be prepared, and you have to research it. You have to take time, because creatives, sometimes we are very impulsive, and we want to move, we want to do things quick. But if it's not prepared properly, it won't stand the test of time. Any relationship, any business, the strength of it is identified in a crisis, in a hard time, when you ask hard questions. And my brother was asking me hard questions, and that business model per se wasn't strong at all. So I just, let it go. And I'm going to go back to it, because now I know how to actually run a business and what it takes. But yeah, so you take those things that work and you ride it till it can't ride anymore, and the things that don't, you just push it to the side, maybe revisit it or just leave it alone and move forward.
I think it takes a lot of courage to go on blind faith and try a number of things. I know that, you're a pastor. Doing a coffee shop and also doing music. I listen to your music, and it's really powerful. There is intention there. Tell me a little bit. Well, actually, let's look at like a 1-minute clip of you performing so that the audience knows what I'm talking about.
Okay.
This one is for the two-steppers, y'all. Hey! Everybody clap your hands. Hey! 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 Come on, y'all. Move. I love this one, y'all. Here we go. Listen, y'all. If you're happy, grateful I am for your grace. I know I don't deserve it, but your love, it never goes astray.
I listened to that video, and it's really movement. What is what is your creative process? Are you creating the music as a composer? Are you also writing the words?
I do both, but for that particular song, my friend Franchon Corbett, he played the track for me, and myself and a young lady by the name of Courtney Rumble wrote that song together. So the creative process for me is normally I hear most of my songs in my sleep. Like if you were to ever be at my house while I'm asleep, I always keep my phone right by my hand because I hear the music in my sleep. And I jump up and I sing the songs into the voice note on my phone, and I go back to sleep. And some songs I don't touch again till maybe 4 or 5 years from now. Yeah, because I think real music stands the test of time. So I look at it like, the process for me is just getting it in that moment. Because if I don't record it, like I can have a whole dream about the song, but if I don't record it when I jump up, I won't remember it. And there's some really amazing songs that I messed up because I didn't do that.
Because you didn't write it down.
Yeah.
But are you formally trained? Because I know you were a drummer first and had a very extremely successful career playing for greats like Hezekiah Walker and others, and also songwriting for a lot of prominent people in the gospel field. So what is your background in terms of the actual craft of music?
Born and raised in the Glorious Church of God in Christ. Never really went to school for music. My dad, when I was around 12 years old, put me in a school called Jazzmobile. And I was the youngest student at the school. But other than that, it's all by ear. I came up under the tutelage of a lady by the name of Rita Lindsay, who really groomed me musically, and another lady by the name of Olivia Lewis, who taught me how to sing, who trained me. And I was part of a choir called the Angelic Choir, which was the children's choir at the church. It's about 200 of us, and I would get in trouble every rehearsal. and Olivia Lewis would have a drumstick, and she would pop us every time we did something crazy. Pop, pop. And I just looked at that drumstick. I was like, okay, I hate drumstick, but I took what I hated and made a career with it. And so, but it started for me banging on my mom's pots and pans. Like, back in the 80s, every black family had those giant wood spoons and forks on the wall. And I used to take them down and get my mom's big pot that she would cook greens in and just bang on them. And the crazy thing is she never stopped me. And most people, that would be nothing but noise to them. But my mom allowed me to do it, and it turned into me taking that passion and traveling all over the world doing it.
Can you list some of the? I was really impressed with the list of artists who you've gone on the road with. Can you just name a few?
Faith Evans, Hezekiah Walker, of course, Ben Tankard, James Hall of Worship and Praise, the Lost Boys, Cannabis, who, by the way, I'm still upset with because he battled LL Cool J, and with one song, LL Cool J killed his whole career. And we had a 15-city tour lined up, and he released that record dissing LL, and LL responded. And I think the only thing we did was the Jay Leno show.
Right.
And well, it wasn't the Jay Leno, it was the Conan O'Brien show at the time. And we did that, and after that, the whole tour got canceled.
And one of the albums you worked on won a Grammy, I believe, right?
Yeah, two of them. Alive in Atlanta with Bishop Hezekiah Walker, and we won for we were nominated for Album of the Year with Marvin Sapp.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what is your editing process? Okay, you're going to bed, you get the inspiration, and the whole song is like complete in your soul, right? So the next day after recording it, what is your process in terms of editing, and what kind of choices are you making?
I just get with my producer friends, songwriter friends, and we just put it together. That's the beautiful thing about working with other creative people. There's no crashing, because we all stay in our lane. So I know what my strengths are. I have some amazing writers that write with me. And I have some amazing people that write with me. And when they're in their vein, I just step back and let them be creative. And then when I do what I do, they step back and let me be creative. And we just come together and have an amazing conclusion when we're all doing what we do best.
Okay. We're going to go to a PSA in about 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But before we do, what are the major challenges that you find that you've experienced as a creative?
Writer's block. Writer's block. And just learning how to deal with rejection. Because as an independent artist, you have to have thick skin. You have to have thick skin because you get so many no's because you don't have that major machine backing you. And I've just learned how to push past all of that because I believe that work ethics override talent any day. There's a bunch of people that's more talented than me, but I don't know anybody that's going to outwork me. And because I work the way I work, I get the results that I get.
So you're saying that you go to sleep and sometimes inspiration comes to you, but is there ever a time, like for example, the murder of George Floyd or Trayvon or something, it could be the Israeli-Palestinian issue. Is there ever a time where you're kind of intentionally crafting something like really controlling the narrative?
Yeah, there's a song on my album called Hope that one of my writers wrote that was a response to the George Floyd murder. So we're very intentional with that because I think that in order to be relevant in this culture, you have to keep your ears to the streets. You have to keep a pulse on what's going on. And people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So that's the thing. Every album that I've done, I intentionally try to put a socially conscious song on it. Even though I'm labeled as a gospel artist, I try to intentionally put something that's relating to what's going on in the culture.
So, a lot of us consider ourselves producers, depending on what arena you're in, whether it's film or music or photography, doesn't matter. Do you think that creatives have a social responsibility in terms of what they're putting out, what kind of images, what kind of ideas they're putting out to the public?
Absolutely. With great responsibility comes great power. With great power comes great responsibility. And I think that once you understand the power of influence, you guard that, and that's why I'm mindful how I conduct myself on social media. even down to the things of what I like, because just me liking it means that I'm kind of co-signing it.
Okay.
So I definitely think, and it's going to be a creative that cares, that really understands that, and governs themselves accordingly. Because some creatives and influencers thrive off of negative energy, and that's what their market is. That's how they make their money. They put out that negative energy, and sadly, there are consumers for that. And
Absolutely.
I think creators have choices. You have to, because you can make money on both ends of the spectrum, but it's about what you want to be responsible for. And I don't want to be responsible for violence,
Absolutely.
for domestic violence, and our young people doing drugs and doing lean and all that. So I'm very, very intentional on what I put my voice to.
And it's also, to me, people are putting out these different images, and I'm constantly having to explain that, that's TV. That doesn't represent who I am. So, on that note, I'm going to come back in a couple seconds. We're going to show the PSA and talk some more about the creative process.
Yes.
Kids!
I don't want to talk about it.
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 Families don't have to talk about everything, but they should talk about how to plan for an emergency.
Kids, you all right?
This family's prepared. Get tips and resources to make your family's emergency plan. Go to nyc.gov/readyny or call 311 for more information.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
You can now watch MNN, Brick TV, QPTV, and SIC TV on BronxNet. Tune in to BX Omni, Channel 67 Optimum, 2133 Fios during most Sunday evenings. We'll show you some amazing content from our friends at Manhattan Neighborhood Network, Brick TV in Brooklyn, Queens Public Television, and Staten Island Community Television. Every borough represented in the Boogie Down. Epic partnerships for the ages. And catch our new Next channel, produced in partnership with MNN, 24/7 on BronxNet Channel 952 Optimum and 2138 Fios.
Welcome back to Corinne's Picks. I'm your host, Corinne Basabe. We've been talking to Pastor Jason Hendrickson.
Yes.
Having a lovely conversation. Pastor is an author, he's an entrepreneur, he's a singer, he's a composer, and we've talked about so many areas that you're dabbling in. I have to show the audience a piece of your artwork.
Yes.
He's also a fine artist, and if I had known that before, we would definitely be exploring his art.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about this image.
Well, that image right there is, it's like a recollection of my childhood. When you look at the part with the Knicks, the 73, that represents the last year that the Knicks won a championship. And it was the year that I was born. That's why I have the ABCs on top of it. And then you have the Golden State Warriors, one of my favorite teams, the Brooklyn Nets, because I'm from Brooklyn, the Chicago Bulls, because, of course, Jordan to me is the GOAT. And the part with the blue, that's the audience watching all of this stuff happening. And everything else is just, abstract.
So, that leads me to my next question. Where are you going? What is your next venture? Like, where would you like to see yourself in the next few years in terms of your art, all these things that you're juggling?
I wanna have a one-stop shop. I wanna have a spot where you can come and get my clothing, get the art, get the music, of course, a space where we can do live shows, and I don't know if they told you, I do stand-up comedy too.
Oh, no, you did. Oh, my God.
Yeah, my buddy Gerald Kelly, who is a giant in the industry, he's been mentoring me for about 2 years now, and so I do that as well. So I just wanted to have a place where people can come and experience creation at its finest from all the things that I'm blessed to curate.
You know, I look at you as the son of Larry Hendrickson, you know, a renowned photographer.
Yeah.
You know, through his eyes, I mean, you've become such a joyous man. I mean, a man who feels courageous and confident in so many things, a happy person.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's really, really amazing. And where do you think that would go in terms of inspiring your congregation? Like, how can you create more Jason Hendricksons?
Just by being transparent to a certain perspective, and just allowing them to see it in real time, you know, because I'm tangible. I don't have 50,000 security guards around me, you know, and I'm very open to understanding my assignment is not to compete with them, but it's to complete them.
But when you look at children, how do you create a child that just has so many gifts? Because my image of you with the spoons as a little boy and the pots,
Yeah.
you were you even at 3.
Yeah, it's a combination of my mom and dad, because my dad has multiple gifts. My dad takes pictures, he plays piano. My mom is a singer. My mom was actually in an R&B group and had an album out back in the day. And so I'm just a combination of both of them on 10. My mom and dad put together on steroids.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell us where to find your church and how to get in contact with you.
My church is located in Brooklyn, 1338 Broadway, between Gates and Quincy, Restoration Tabernacle. We have services on Sundays at 10 a.m. And every Wednesday we're online on YouTube, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, 7:30 for the most powerful, earth-shattering Bible study, interactive, relative. I'm talking about you can bring your kids and your grandmother, and everybody's going to get something from it.
And what are some of the programs your church has right now?
Oh, we have an extensive outreach ministry. We do HIV testing. We do eye testing. We do hepatitis B, C testing.
For glaucoma or for like vision?
Everything.
Okay.
We do that. And we also have extensive outreach with the shelters in the neighborhood where we go and give away clothes and we give out food. And every summer we shut down our weeknight services. And that night, which is Wednesday night, we go out in the community and feed. We have a prom dress giveaway. We give 100 prom dresses away, brand new prom dresses, 100 suits to the young men. And we're just a community-based church. Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to end this show with a 5-minute video that I was blessed to hear. So thank you so much for being on
Thank
the
you for
show.
having me. I appreciate it.
And, you know, audience, you're in for a treat.